Our next guest was a 3-time Pro Bowl linebacker and played on one of the best defenses ever with the Philadelphia Eagles in the early 90s. He also won a ring with Shannon in Denver. Seth Joyner, welcome to Undisputed.
Thank you. We had us a good old time.
Did you?
We had us a good old time.
No, I want to hear that from Seth, though.
Listen, we had too good of a time. You know, when you're winning like that,
yeah,
it's a joy to play the game.
Oh, I thought you meant after hours. No?
I would never come on Undisputed and divulge that kind of information. Incriminate myself or my former teammate.
Now, does Shannon help his backup?
You know what?
House? Of course.
Yeah.
Who was your backup?
Dwayne Carswell, we called him House. And Byron Chamberlain, we called him Chalk House. So everybody had nicknames. Seth will tell you, everybody had nicknames. We went by nickname. Nobody went by their real name.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was listening in on you guys about that whole, helping the guy that's behind you. I got major issue with that, not helping the young guy behind you, because if you got confidence in yourself, you don't worry about the guy that they bring in to take your position. He's just going to have to sit over there till it's his time to play, till you're done. But it's critical that you help the young guy. I say that because when I came in, I had a veteran that took me under his wing and showed me how to be a pro. And then 2 years later, I took his job, and he was gone.
And who was that?
A guy by the name of Gary Cobb. You know Gary, he played down in Dallas.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. That's very good of you, Shannon.
Yeah. Todd Heap, I helped him, and he took my job.
He did. That's a good one.
Well, Seth, you played a lot of years in the NFC East, so let's talk about two of the young quarterbacks in that division. Monday Morning Quarterback released their list of top 400 players, and Carson Wentz was ranked ahead of Dak Prescott. They say that if they had to pick a quarterback to lead their team for the next 10 years, it would be Wentz. Seth, do you agree with that?
Well, at the risk of sounding like a homer, Skip, because I know you're a Dallas homer.
I am.
When you think about the prototypical quarterback, you look at these two guys, Carson Wentz is that guy that fits the bill. I think that Dak had a phenomenal year. I take nothing away from him. But when you look at what surrounds him, an offensive line, some weapons from tight end out to wide receiver, and most importantly, a running game. When a young quarterback has a running game, the rest of the game becomes a lot easier for him to manage. Play action comes alive. The entire playbook is open. When I look at Carson Wentz, last year Carson Wentz threw 607 passes. It's too many passes. Too many passes for a rookie quarterback. You got to give him the running game to equalize things. And anytime you got a young quarterback, you should be 50-50 run-to-pass ratio or even higher on the run side, just to give him everything that he needs to be successful.
Skip,
Are you sticking with this too?
Yeah.
You haven't seen the light?
Skip.
You saw the light. How much crow do you have to eat before you finally give in?
How about this? Look at Dak. Dak is playing on his offensive side of the football. He has 6 players in the top 80 of the 400 rankings. He has the three.
I don't like the ranking, but that's okay.
He has the three highest rated offensive linemen on his team. The number 6 wide receiver, the number 6 tight end, the number 3, number 4 running back. Carson Wentz has 0 in the top 80, only 2 in the top 200. Now, Alshon Jeffrey wasn't on the team last year.
No.
Lane Johnson was suspended 2 games. So what they do is what I do. If I put Carson Wentz in that system, could he do what Dak Prescott did? Absolutely. If you put Dak Prescott behind that, could Dak Prescott? No, he could not.
Yes, he could.
Dak has receivers. Carson Wentz played with retrievers. Now, a receiver catches the ball. A retriever will pick something up and bring it back. So the ball, he would throw it to him, they would drop it, pick it up, hand it to the official. That's why his numbers look like they did. And as Seth mentioned, 607 times, the top-rated quarterbacks, that's Drew Brees' territory. Drew Brees been in the league 16, 17 years, so he can throw it. You would never want a rookie to throw that many times. I wouldn't want a rookie to throw 500 times in a season, let alone 600. So I'm taking Dak every day. I'm done Dak. I'm taking Carson.
Yeah, you're taking
Wentz.
Dak. That was Freudian
slip.
You got
Freudian.
it. And we got you.
I want Wentz.
We just nailed you
Put
right there.
Put Wentz behind the Cowboys and see what he do.
You're making me wince with all of your talk. And by the way, you just insulted my Vanderbilt receiver. I'm also a Vanderbilt homer because I went there. kid named Jordan Matthews that you probably know pretty well. He only set the SEC record for yards receiving. So is he a retriever?
But Philly doesn't play in the SEC.
No, he might have set the NFL record for drops over the last 3 years, too.
Yeah, but he caught a bunch of big passes, too. I don't think he's chopped liver, but that's just me.
He better than Dan?
So we'll go back to – no, he's not better than Dan. But here's the point. With all that great talent, all those top blah, blah, blahs, that bogus list that you keep referring to, because it had Dak.
Oh, it's bogus now.
23rd. Well, I told you it was a joke. Did I not say joke?
You did.
I said joke, LOL. That's that whole list. You can just put one big LOL on it. To me, if you rank Dak at 223 and you rank Carson Wentz 21 slots higher, and I can keep on keeping on with that list, but let's take all that talent, those top 25, 3 offensive linemen. And what happened in 2015? Help me out. Because Brandon Weeden was a first-round pick, and he got thrown into that fire, and he couldn't win a game. And then Matt Castle, who was a Pro Bowl quarterback in Kansas City and obviously had one big year in place of Tom Brady up in New England, he got thrown into that fire, and he managed to win one game. They went 1-11 with that same talent, all those same guys. That wait a second, the 4th-round rookie out of Mississippi State won 11 straight games with that same talent. It's because he's so much better than Brandon Weeden or Matt Castle or Carson Wentz. And Seth, I will give you eye test. I like to watch Carson Wentz just sort of move and operate because he's a little bigger than Dak. He's very athletic. I'm not sure he's more athletic than Dak, but they're pretty similar. Right. Carson can move around.
Yeah, he can.
He's got some stuff going on. Big arm. I give you all that. But when it's time to make plays, I didn't see him make enough plays. You got off to a great start, and then you were 3-0, and you hit your bye week, and then, boom, the bottom falls out.
Let me tell you why, okay? We want to prop quarterbacks up like they're the end-all to be-all in the NFL. Also, quarterback-driven league. You got to have quarterback. I don't dispute that at all. But from a defensive player's perspective, the most demoralizing thing in a game is when a team runs the ball down your throat, okay? Now, you talked about all those other quarterbacks, Skip. What they did not have is they did not have Ezekiel Elliott rushing for 1,500-plus yards.
But Darren McFadden went for like 1,200. It was pretty good. It's behind that same line.
Doesn't matter, though, because you want to know why? Because you got Brandon Weeden instead of this kid here that's a little more polished. But when you're running the ball the way that Zeke ran the ball last year, your entire playbook is open. Because every time he sticks that ball, every time Dak sticks that ball out there, okay, the defensive line freezes. The linebackers slow down. The safeties slow down, you know. And then you got to drop the 8th man in the box to be able to control Ezekiel Elliott. And when you do that, now you open yourself up even more to one-on-one with Dez on the outside or Cole Beasley lined up one-on-one to get someone. So the linchpin here for Dak, as far as I'm concerned, is the running game. The way you beat Dallas is you go in and you figure out how to stop Ezekiel Elliott and make Dak beat you with his arm.
Okay. And he beat team after team after team.
What happened in the playoffs?
Late in games.
What happened in the playoffs?
He scored 31 points.
Yeah, but when they needed 35.
Okay.
He did?
Yeah, he did. He threw for 302 yards. Are you kidding me?
Aaron Rodgers threw for... But, Skip, you keep saying... But, see, here's the thing. And see, the argument that I'm trying to get you to make is that you keep talking about they had the same offensive line and Darren McFadden rushed for 1,100 yards, and you said Weeden and Matt Castle, I call him Matt Sand, because he will fall apart at the site.
Except he beat Kirk Cousins.
Everybody
beats Kirk Cousins.
But Skip, the 15 to 16 quarterbacks that's ranked ahead of Dak make the case that if they were behind that Dallas line, they would be worse than Dak.
You know what? As Tony Romo said after the game at Pittsburgh, in which with 42 seconds left, Dak Prescott goes boom, 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 and wins the game against Ben Roethlisberger, and Romo in the locker room. He's been cleared to play, and he turns to Stephen Jones, the vice president of the Cowboys, and he says, what he just did ain't bleeping easy. It's hard to play quarterback at that high of a level where he keeps bringing teams back against your Eagles on, what was it, a Sunday night? He brought them back. late in the game, he went 80 yards in 12 plays, and then in overtime, he goes down and scores.
Well, that's on the head coach, though.
Okay.
Because what he should have did, Doug Peterson should have kicked the field goal. The kid had already made a 53-yarder.
But you can't take away the plays that he kept making and the QBR he kept putting. It's my favorite stat, but it shows exactly how good a quarterback he is. He led the NFL, did Dak Prescott in QBR the whole year until the last game at your place when they just mailed it in. And he fell barely to third behind Brady and Matt Ryan and Brady. And look at 28 touchdowns to 4 picks. Your guy was 16 and 14. Your guy's QBR was 24th in the NFL at 55. It's just not even close.
Put him behind that. They say put him behind that Cowboy line and give him Zeke and give him Dez and Jason Witten and watch what happens.
We're not going to judge you if you admit that Dak is better than Carson.
No, he's not.
I might judge you a little bit.
No, you know they asked Carson Wentz to throw the ball too much last year, and Carson has said this year that he had too much on his plate. And the coaching staff has admitted he had too much on his plate last year.
After they called him a combination of Brett Favre and Peyton Manning?
He didn't call himself that.
Yeah.
But that's why y'all not going to make the playoffs. So.
We got to leave it there.
Yeah,
Thanks for joining us.
Y'all ain't going to make